Shalom and welcome. This week's Torah portion is Toldot, the story of the birth of Isaac's two children, Jacob and Esau. Toward the end of the portion, Isaac makes the statement, "I do not know the day of my death." And the Midrash teaches us that no one knows the day of their death. If they did, they'd wait until the last minute to repent for their sins. And they would not make any place for God in the world we live in. Here's a story about the Baal Shem Tov dealing with an untimely death. One day, the Baal Shem Tov was visiting an inn high up on a hill, high in the Carpathian Mountains. The innkeeper was an unlearned and simple Jew who had a lot of respect for the Baal Shem Tov. And when he arrived, the innkeeper and his family came out to greet the Baal Shem Tov. "Rabbi Israel, it's so wonderful that you're here." While the innkeeper and his wife prepared refreshments for their honored guest, the Baal Shem Tov unhitched the horses from his wagon and took them into the barn to be fed and watered. While there, he walked down the stalls, examining each of the horses. Later that evening, the Baal Shem Tov asked the innkeeper, "Do you have any horses that I could see?" "Yes, Rabbi, I have some very fine horses." And he took the Baal Shem Tov out to the barn, and they walked down the stalls, looking at each horse, examining it, discussing its merits. See, having a good horse was a real asset at that time. Finally, they came to the last stall and looked at a horse that was smaller than all of the others. "Would you trade me this smaller horse for one of the larger, younger horses that I use to pull my wagon?" "Oh, Rabbi, I couldn't trade this horse. I would trade any other horse in the barn, though." "Would you trade this horse if I were to give you two of my horses, my larger horses?" The innkeeper was a little embarrassed to be haggling with the Baal Shem Tov. He said, "Rabbi, you know that I respect you a great deal, but this small horse is special to me. Normally, it takes two large horses to pull a wagon up the hill to my inn. And even then, the driver and any passengers who are on the wagon have to get off and help push the wagon up the hill. This small horse is able to do it all by itself." The innkeeper and the Baal Shem Tov went back to the inn and sat down before the fire. The Baal Shem Tov took out his pipe and lit it and sat there smoking for a moment. "Tell me, do you have any debts that are owed you?" "Rabbi, in this business, I have a lot of friends who many times don't have the money to pay for their stay. So I put it on their bill, and eventually they pay what they owe." "Do you have any bills that have not been paid? Could I see them?" "Of course I do, Rabbi." And the innkeeper got up and brought the Baal Shem Tov a small stack of unpaid bills. The Baal Shem Tov took the bills, and he was looking through the stack of bills. And he stopped at one. "Here is an old bill for a Reb Chaim." Reb Chaim. He died a few years ago. May he rest in peace." You have something troubling you about Reb Chaim? Well, Reb Chaim could drink a lot of vodka. And more often than not, he didn't have the money to pay for it. But he was a mensch and a jovial fellow, so I couldn't turn him down. When I would remind him about paying his bill, he would say, "I promise you that one day I will pay the debt." Then after drinking a lot of vodka, one day he drove his wagon down the hill in front of my inn, fell off, and died. It was very upsetting, but no one was more upset than me because the amount of money he still owed me. "Can I have this bill?" "Yes, of course, Rebbe. You can have the bill. It's of no value to me." "Would you forgive Reb Chaim the debt?" "What do you mean?" "Would you forgive Reb Chaim the debt and release any ill feelings you have toward him?" "Okay, I forgive him." The Baal Shem Tov looked the innkeeper straight in the eye. "I'm very serious about this." The innkeeper, "Yeah, okay. Reb Chaim, I forgive you the debt. May you rest in peace." The Baal Shem Tov took the bill, crumpled it up, and threw it into the fire, where it was consumed by the crackling flames. Baal Shem Tov then turned to the innkeeper. "Come, let's go out to your barn again." So they went out to the barn, and the innkeeper was shocked when he saw that his favorite small horse lie dead in its stall. The Baal Shem Tov explained, the spirit of Reb Chaim could not go to its heavenly resting place because of the debt that he owed you. His spirit came back into the small horse so that he could work off the debt. Now that you have released him from the debt and forgiven him, his soul can now go to its proper place in heaven above. And so it happened at an inn on a hill high in the Carpathian Mountains. Shalom.